Disciple of Pentagon says Shanahan Niners, when down 7 points or more at half, are 0-19. When they're down between 6 points or tied at half, 7-14. And when winning at halftime, they're 24-5. Just a little backdrop.
Great
Interesting. Thank you
information,
very
disciple
much.
of Pentagon.
That was really
Absolutely.
interesting. Is he the future of this team?
Kyle Shanahan. I said this while ago, back I think when we were talking about the drafts, and I said that he inhibits us in ways where his attitude, his ego seem to come into it. I don't know how you doghouse people like Ayuk, but the terror is who would replace him. And I spent some time this week trying to find people. I did not yet. I looked in college. I looked around the NFL. I'm not sure who would be right now, who is available being the key thing, who would be better than him. But there's an inhibition to the direction of the 49ers here. Who doesn't play a draft pick that's number 3 overall? And when the opportunity presents itself, who does not play them? Shanahan needs to show that he is all in with the team that has been given him. With the way the draft was made, he needs to show that he will play the cards he's been dealt and not hold on to things in the past, in this case, Jimmy Garoppolo. If he continues to do that, then absolutely not. Jed York has to realize he is at an impasse with a coach who will not follow the game plan. It does not matter how brilliant he is. It does not matter how bad the situation would be on the job market for us. But the fact of the matter is, if he will not play with the cards that are dealt to him, he will have to go. So is he the future of the team? I'm going to wait. Why don't you ask me that after 3 or 4 more games? That's when I will be concrete in my decision with him. I still think that Shanahan has the capacity to be a brilliant play caller. But as something that Jesse pointed out, how brilliant is it when you look at the points per game that he averages? Remember that statistic he posted on Twitter?
Yeah.
That was insane. That made Shanahan look pedestrian.
He's been an OC since 2008, 7 or 8. And he's had an offense that ranked top half of the league, 16 or above, in scoring 4 times. And this year he's currently ranked 15th. So this could be 5, or it could not. 4 out of about 12 or 13. So basically every third year he's good.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends who's a football coach locally. He's a Ravens fan as well. And he said, what happened? We were talking about Shanahan, and he said, how good a play caller can you be when you rank that low?
He always has an excuse.
And you know what he asked me? Don't you have
injury.
George Kittle? He asked me, don't you have people like George Kittle? And he's like, we don't have people like George Kittle. So the thing is that we have the weapons for Shanahan to hang 35 points a game, and we're not. So, like I said, in the next 3 or 4 games, we will know. We will all know. But for now, it does not look good. No.
Well, here's the thing about this is what I would do.
Where does John Lynch fit into this? Is he going to sync with Shanahan, or will he be a right thing? I think he syncs. And I'll be honest with you, I don't particularly like that. The one thing I have against him, how did the defensive back not draft good defensive backs?
Yeah.
And Lenoir is a good bargain bin draft pick, essentially. But when you look at Emory Thomas, okay, maybe it's a project, that's fine. But the first round is just like they abort when it comes to the idea of even drafting a defensive back. So this has to be the last year of these two. The next year, it has to be the last year. This is year 5.
Yeah. If they miss the playoffs, here's what has to happen. One of them has to get fired.
Yes.
If they miss the playoffs, one of them has to get fired. And if I were Jed, what I would do is me being Jed, I would fire John Lynch first.
Me too.
Lynch has to go. And it's because if they do miss the playoffs, roster construction will be a big freaking reason why. A lot of people injured, right? Well, that's on you. Year 5. I don't trust the way you guys are doing it, putting together a team in year 6. By year 5, you should have had something good and sustainable, and you don't. So you have to be the fall guy, John. Okay. I would hire a very respected, I don't know who yet, but a respected number 2 personnel guy from some good organization, make him a general manager here, and then that person would have the decision to keep Kyle Shanahan or trade him. And, Kyle Shanahan might make the decision easy by objecting to the whole thing. Then in that he can say, I don't want to be here. I don't work with that guy. Okay, fine. We'll trade you. If he does want to work with the guy and the guy wants to work with Kyle, fine. I'll let that go. But that's his decision at that point. That's Kyle's boss.
The other thing that has to happen with a new general manager is more roster autonomy. I think that Kyle Shanahan needs to be relegated into the capacity of what he's good at, and
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Yes.
In other words, he needs to be
Coach.
an HCOC. That's
freaking
what he has
coach
to
the team, dude. He'll ask you for some input here and there, but coach the team because you think you know it. Let's not even talk about quarterback, wide receiver. You played the position, you coached the position, you draft it all the time. You never get it right, with the exception of Debo, Pettis, Richie James, Jalen Hurd, Brandon Ayuk. You never like the wide receivers you draft. So we're gonna let someone else do this now.
And that's the thing is Jed York has to say, look, I know you have the stuff. I know you can do this, but it's no longer your decision. I'm going to give you players. Win me football games. This is your last year.
When he was having success on the Falcons, he didn't have personnel control.
That's the point. Sure. That's why I said he needs to be an HCOC because he needs to be back to doing what he does. And that's not player management. It's play calling. It's basically choosing what plays to call. And oh, by the way, you can wear your little trucker hats and you can be the head coach.
I'm sure, who was it, Thomas Dimitroff, whoever it was, who was the GM in 2016 in Atlanta, I bet he asked Kyle Shanahan and Bobby Turner and some of those coaches for input and took it here and there. But he had his own agenda, and I'm sure that's what the Rams do, Les Snead and Sean McVay. I think Kyle just has way too much power, and you need to take it away. And if he objects, then you got to go. If not, if he wants to work with a strong general manager who's good at his job and can actually draft and not give away all your picks for people like D Ford, then okay, then you might be able to stay. Maybe.
I love Bobby Turner. I really do. One of the guys who interviewed for John Lynch's job, and I thought was the forerunner, was Louis Riddick. Remember him?
Yeah. I would go with someone maybe that's like not an announcer. I know he's been in front offices, but like it's been a while. How about someone who's kicking butt right now in an organization who's kicking butt right now? Unless, look, bring Lewis in for an interview. But I mean, I think there's probably some people who are a little bit more current. Because the thing, Lewis is a great announcer. It's so much easier than. Why do you want to go into a business where you could get fired in 3 years because you didn't get the right quarterback? Like, just be an announcer.
That's the thing. I know he wants to. I don't think it was a token interview from his perspective. He wanted the job, and the thing is, he's so politically minded. He's shown no bitterness to not getting it. He stays on top of things. He's well connected. I mean, I'm curious as to how John Lynch got the job over him. That's the thing. A football player who never did this before, no experience doing this kind of thing. He was an announcer. So,
it's true. Hey, I'm just saying, if one announcer fails, you might try
John Gruden can get a job in the NFL. Louis Riddick should be running the NFL.
I know.
That's what I think.
Hey. Interview him. Jed, find the best and the brightest, please, because it's not John. John was brought in because Kyle wanted power. And he didn't want to work with people who actually are, have their own opinion.
And maybe that's the issue. Maybe Kyle Shanahan is not so big a problem if he has an alpha dog in the house, because he's not an alpha dog. He's a brilliant mad scientist. Go split the atom, Kyle Shanahan. Go equate things.
He wants to
but let someone with the brazen alpha energy of a manager, leader style man do the rest. Take the pressure off him and take the power away.